How did political factors cause the Soviet and Chinese famines? Imagine a government so focused on transforming society that it makes drastic choices without fully considering their human cost. That's what happened during the Soviet and Chinese famines. These tragedies weren't just natural disasters, they were driven by political decisions. In the Soviet Union during the early 1930s, leader Joseph Stalin pushed for forced collectivization of farms. The goal was to turn many small farms into large, state-controlled farms to boost industrial growth. But this plan was carried out through harsh measures like seizing land, livestock, and grain from peasants, especially targeting wealthier farmers called kulaks. Many kulaks were deported or executed to crush resistance. These actions caused farms to produce less food, leading to widespread shortages. Meanwhile, the government kept demanding more grain from the countryside, even as people starved. In Ukraine, this policy was especially brutal, with villages being blacklisted and peasants restricted from moving to find food. The result was the Holodomor, a famine that killed millions. It was a political choice to prioritize grain exports and industrial goals over feeding the rural population. In China, the Great Famine from 1959 to 1961 was also caused by political policies. The Chinese government under the Communist Party launched the Great Leap Forward. They aimed to rapidly modernize China into an industrial powerhouse by creating large communal farms. Officials set unrealistic grain production targets and requisitioned huge amounts of food for cities and exports. To meet these quotas, local officials often exaggerated harvest figures, leading to even more grain being taken from farmers. This disrupted traditional farming practices and worsened food shortages. The government's refusal to admit or discuss the crisis delayed relief efforts, making the famine worse. Poor weather conditions also played a role, but the political decisions to push for rapid industrialization and collectivization were the main causes. Tens of millions of people died during this period, making it one of the deadliest famines in history. From a political point of view, these famines show how ideological goals can override human needs. Leaders believed that collectivization and central planning were necessary for building socialism and eliminating class enemies. They saw these policies as steps toward equality and independence from capitalist nations. But in practice, these policies caused suffering and death. The famines highlight the tension between trying to reshape society and the real human toll of such efforts. They reminded us that political decisions, especially when driven by ideology and power, can have devastating effects on people's lives. These famines are a stark example of how government policies, when not carefully managed or when driven by strict political aims, can lead to tragic outcomes.